incites the foolishness.
You're a Christian man, but you're molesting little girls. You're a
Christian man. Talk about it.
All we want to do is break the chains off, man. All we want to do is be free. All we want to do is be free. All we want to do is take the chains off. All we want to do is break the chains off, man. All we want to do is be free. All we want to do is be free.
Welcome to a Full Plate Podcast. We are here today to do episode 3, and I have my 2 special co-hosts this week. Edina Taylor, my daughter, is back, and I also have Symfani Gibson, who is also my daughter. We have her here, and we are just basically going to piggyback off of last week's episode because since last week, so many new things have happened. So we're just going to tackle all of them. So before we get into all of that, this week I did want to bring back the young entrepreneurs because we didn't do it last week. But I did want to do it this week because I just felt like, you know, you guys as young people are like being ransacked in the media and stuff like that.
One.
Yes. So our young entrepreneur this week is Elena Harrison.
Yay, that's
who,
my girl.
She is the owner and CEO of Elena Marie Sweets.
Yes.
And she offers cakes and cupcakes.
Banana pudding.
Yes.
Different types of puddings.
All sweet things.
Yeah.
Chocolate-covered
It's
strawberries. Chocolate-covered pretzels. She does party trays. Mm-hmm. So if anyone is interested.
And her banana pudding trays are so affordable. Super affordable.
I saw that on her menu.
Yeah. They're really affordable.
So we're going to give her Instagram now. So her business Instagram is Elena Marie .sweets. So I'll spell it ALAYNAMARIE period sweets SWEETS, and her personal IG is Elena ALAYNA _Marie MARIEE. So hi Elena, we're sending people your way and tell them a Full Plate Podcast sent you. Yes. So let's just jump right into it. Oh, and of course, we are powered by IAO Entertainment. I forgot to say that last week because it was just so much going on. Yeah. So we are, of course, powered by IAO Entertainment and exclusively recorded at IAO Recording Studios. Mm-hmm. So, ladies, are we ready to get this out the way?
Yes.
Okay. I wanted to play something because I'm kind of going to give homework. So there is a documentary on Netflix called LA 92.
LA 90. Did you watch it yet?
No.
So I'm giving it as homework because LA 92, I watched it like a couple nights ago. And if you don't have Netflix, it's on YouTube. Okay. So it's free on YouTube. And it came out in 2017. And basically the premise of it is it starts with like the LA riots in 1992. 1968. And then it shows the 1992 after Rodney King. Mm-hmm. If you watch it, you're like, I can't believe in 2020.
It's still like the same thing.
I mean, the same thing happening. So that's the homework. Before we get into what I'm going to play, I wanted to once again repeat the information that my beautiful sister Janae gave us last week because we're getting ready to talk about this. Since then, other police officers have been arrested.
Thank goodness.
Thank you to everybody who protested and fought for that. They've been arrested, not convicted. So the fight is still not over, but they have all 4 of them been arrested.
Can we actually hold that? Because I actually have to piggyback off that after you say the Janae thing.
Okay, well, I want to say that because we're still looking for the officers in the Breonna Taylor case to be brought to justice.
Justice definitely needs to be served for Breonna Taylor. That was ridiculous.
Janae gave us the instructions to text the word enough to 55156. I'm not being smart. Some people may not know how to spell enough, so I'm just going to spell it. ENOUGH. To 55156, and that is like a text protest to bring awareness and try to bring justice to these cops that murdered this beautiful black woman who just also celebrated her birthday. So happy birthday in heaven to her. 27 years old. That's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you wanted to piggyback off of that before we get started.
Yes. Also, I just texted enough to the number that my mom just gave you guys. After you text enough, you should like get a link sent back to you that you click, and it's like petitions for the Breonna Taylor case. So I thought that was cool to say. But all right. Anyways, so piggybacking off of the cops that got arrested, I saw something on Twitter that like it was a comparison between the real cop that was in the video and the cop that was incarcerated. Did you see that?
The headshots.
That doesn't look like the correct. I'm just being. I don't know.
I heard other people saying that as well, that it didn't look like
the real cop
that was arrested.
It doesn't look like the same person, and the government is tricky.
Well, if you're a Scandal fan, I wouldn't put past anything in the media.
Literally.
If you ever watched the show Scandal, a whole situation, it really is. A whole situation would happen, and by the time Olivia Pope got done with it and her team, what we actually saw in the media was a total different spin.
Really?
Yeah, like you need to watch it. It's so good. So yes, we are championing the fact that the cops were arrested. Mm-hmm. We hope and pray they will, in fact, be convicted of it. Mm-hmm. I read that one of the cops was only on duty for 3 days.
Yeah, they're trying to make excuses, though.
Yeah, that was his third day.
Oh, no, I'm not saying it as an excuse.
Third day, right,
mm-hmm.
yeah.
I'm just saying what a way to...
One of the other officers was actually, like, training him. So he was, like, in training.
Oh, what a training. Yeah. Wow. What a training. Oh, we kill people.
Exactly.
Welcome to the job.
Literally.
So... I wrote this in the notes that police brutality is all across the United States, in every state. Because let's start with that. In CNN, they showed that every state in the United States participated in the protest.
Which is amazing.
It is amazing because we never come together for anything. Yeah. I just found it interesting that we're witnessing exactly what we're protesting. Yeah. Because in all of the protests, you're literally watching police be brutal.
Every single protest.
Every state.
Pushing people down for no reason.
Yeah.
Did you see the one in New York?
The girl who got
the old man.
Oh my God, I did see that.
That was in Buffalo.
Yeah.
That was foul.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Yeah, they were charged not guilty.
Yeah.
Both of the
And when they came out of the courthouse, the other officers or people who like were on their side was like cheering for them. Like this is an old man that was bleeding out of his ear because they pushed him so hard. He had a cane. Like, this is the type of stuff that I just don't get. I don't get it. I don't get it. The stuff that I'm seeing in the news, it was like these little girls and they're like hanging posters
they were riding their bike.
And this white man literally comes and tries to rip the things out their hands.
They're like 10 years old.
It's like craziness. It's craziness.
Yeah, he got charged too. I don't know with what, but he definitely got charged.
He definitely did. It almost feels to me like the white people, I won't say the white people, I'll say the bad white people, racist white people have become emboldened. In this, they've become emboldened.
Oh yeah, Trump been had them bold.
Well, the same thing. Literally, when I was in high school, it was a nightmare. Like when Trump won the election, I was like so scared that night, and my mom was like, "Everything's gonna be fine." And I go to school the next day, and everybody has on like Trump face masks. They're telling us to go back to Africa, calling us the N-word.
What?
Confederate. It was crazy. Like it went, and I went to GCIT, which is a technical school, and all of the different cities go to that school. Right. So it's like kids from everywhere, and like the percentage of black people in that school is like less than 4%. Yeah. So it's really low. So we were just like surrounded in the whole day, and every day forward, like we were taunted in the hallways.
Oh my God.
Since he got elected. Ridiculous. Trump literally had everybody bold the minute he got elected.
Yeah, it's like horrible. And it's like people like you never. Exactly. This was like November, so obviously we started school in September. Like these are people that I know. Like, and all of a sudden everyone's racist. And it's like, where did this come from?
Exactly. It's like you never really know who.
Yeah.
And mind you, that's not supposed to be your experience in high school. Like that's just crazy to me. Last week we're talking about Cherry Hill, and I was telling Sim before we started recording, I was going to bring it up where you noticed that the protests in Cherry Hill, although they went very well, I saw online that the Cherry Hill Police Department were very active and participated in it. Like, you know, hey, weather permitting, we'll cook out and all this stuff. You know, like being community and involved as they should be. Because to me, that's what a police department should be.
Do, yeah.
But it was a lot of people. A chiropractor in Cherry Hill put on Facebook, run them over. things like that. Just complete.
In Cherry Hill?
Yes. And so speaking on that. Surprised. Not even a half an hour ago, and I hit my friend up. Her name's Karen. She made a live on Facebook because she was at the Home Depot on Route 70 in Cherry Hill. Yes, I'm calling it out. A man cut her off, a white man, cut her off, and when she finally was able to stop her car, he asked her, did she have a problem? She said, no, do you have a problem? He proceeded to call her a black a monkey, the N-word, told her to go wash her, know what. Wait, was
this in Cherry Hill?
Yes, just today.
Oh, my God. And something happened a couple days ago in Cherry Hill. My friend had tweeted she was at Wawa. And, oh, my gosh. Wait, I'm going to find it because I really... you guys talk while I find it.
Well, while you look for it, because I told her I was going to talk about it on the podcast. And she's like, yes, talk about it.
People are getting out of control.
They are. So like, she in fact posted his picture. So I will also post his picture on the podcast page because we need to find him and he needs to be arrested for harassment.
There's a group
crazy
on Facebook.
Okay.
It's called like Expose Racist, and
if
you put people's like picture and whatever they said or did in there, they will find them.
Okay, well we need to add him.
Yeah, I just sent this kid that I went to school with. He was one of the people that like taunted us.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And people were protesting, just normal protesting on the side of the road in Williamstown, and he records it and he rolls his window is up and he's screaming at them, calling them the N-word, saying he's gonna run them all over.
Is that the video that I saw?
Yeah.
That one that everyone was coming at?
Literally.
And they posted his address.
They posted his address. They posted his phone number, his job,
everything.
The way I look at it.
And then he tried to apologize.
Yeah, he tried to apologize.
But that's the other thing I wanted to talk about, where it's like these racist moments keep happening. And then when the people are called to the forefront, all of a sudden there's like this apology. Oh, I'm so sorry. I have black friends. It's like, oh, I have black people in my family. I would never. I'm not a racist.
It's like, but you're on video.
Exactly. You're caught. But I did find this girl. She's my friend. Her name's Jordan Brielle. I'm saying her name right. Jordan Brielle. I almost said Brielle because I couldn't see the A, but it's Jordan Brielle. But she's a sweet girl. She also is from Cherry Hill. She went to school with me as well. She still lives there, I'm pretty sure. But she tweeted, tell me why I'm coming out of the Wawa on Route 38 and this white guy is screaming at this black man, calling him a repeatedly because he wasn't wearing a mask.
What?
It continues. So this is just ridiculous. Let me just say, like, they're getting bold. Like, they're really getting bold.
Because no one's doing anything.
Because nobody's doing anything. So then she says, the black guy pushes him hard and drives off. I can't believe I witnessed that with my own eyes. He then gets on the phone with the police and says, if you don't get here right now, I'll pull out my gun and shoot these I'll shoot up. You need to get here fast. There's a bunch of in here. If you...
Cherry Hill. Whoa.
I'm going to just stop it there. But basically, that's what the man was saying, literally on the phone with the police. And they don't care.
Oh, my God.
So now, so the black guy got away.
Yeah, but
here's the question.
He probably
what
pushed
happened?
him and drove away because he probably knew, like, if this guy calls the cops, who's it, you know what I mean?
But the question is, what would have happened if the cops had gotten there? This is the part that freaks me out, right? So it's like when these white people call the authorities, right?
Like Amy Cooper.
Yes, like Amy Cooper.
Oh, yeah.
They're calling the police in a manner like, because they view us as less than animals. Of course we're wrong. Like, they could never be wrong. We're in the wrong. So when they're calling the authorities on us, my question is, what is that mental process? Like, oh, the cops are going to come and they're going to shoot him or her?
Yeah, they know exactly what they're doing, the intentions behind I'm going to call the cops on you. Why? They know what happens to black people with the police. They do it on purpose.
They do it on purpose.
The stuff that I'm seeing is just disgusting. Like Meghan McCain, she tweeted that, oh my gosh, my neighborhood is eviscerated. It's so disgusting. It looks like a war zone. And she's calling out like the governor of New York, and you guys are disgusting. Well, another famous person that's her neighbor said, Megan, I just walked outside. Our neighborhood's fine.
Oh my God.
She blasted her on Twitter. And then Megan then goes on Twitter and says, oh, well, I wasn't home. I'm 6 months pregnant. I'm away, but I'm just watching the news. So why are you speaking on it?
Oh my goodness, these people are
Why
crazy.
are you speaking on it? So before we get any further, I want to play something because this is from the documentary that I'm telling everybody to watch. So I want you guys to listen to this and hear what this lawyer says about how and why black people view the police department the way that they do. Great. If my phone would load up, that would be fabulous. Okay.
We've heard constant references to respect for law and order. And more particularly, what they mean is respect for law enforcement. Now, to really understand the problems of these people, you'd have to understand what law enforcement has meant to them for 100 years. We're talking about the white man's law enforcement that's responsible for many of their parents being chased out of the South on one pretext or another. Under those conditions, you can understand that the people aren't going to be reverent about law enforcement and the men who enforce the law. What would make it better? What would make...
Okay, I'll stop it there. I just thought that that was really, really important because what people need to understand, the police department comes from and originated as slave patrol.
Yeah,
right?
100%. 100%.
So when you're witnessing and watching what you're seeing in 2020, to know that it's really not that much different
than slavery. That's what I see. When I see the way they're treating us, I think about the slave movies I've watched. Sorry, I get so mad. Because I just can't. Like, they literally treat us like dogs. I just watched a video on Twitter yesterday. Some guy was in handcuffs already. He already was arrested by the police officer.
Okay.
He has his hands behind his back. He's in the cop car. Okay. The cop drags him out of the cop car and proceeds to drag him by his neck or by like his shirt. Drag him inside of the police station. He's on his stomach, getting dragged inside the police station with this like he's a dog. Literally like he's a dog.
Well, I was having a conversation. I was in the A room with Ronan, and I was saying to him that you have to understand in this country, we were less than a dog.
Yeah.
So, right? So you have to look at it like, you know how we just did this?
Yeah.
3/5. 3/5.
Of a human.
Of a human. So
ridiculous.
We just did the census. The 2020 just did a census. So I want everybody to rewind back to like a census in, let's say, 1840, right? So if I'm a white slave owner and I'm filling out my census and I'm writing like, okay, I'm the husband and I have a wife so-and-so and I have 3 kids and this is their age, and on my property there are, what is it called? Not the overseers, and that's them. And I have 5 pigs, 4 cows, 3 chickens, 72 blacks. And then after I list my 72 blacks that I own, like I own my cattle, I then list their names, the children they have. We were, in fact, property. Wrap your head around that. Like, you know how you and EJ are me and daddy's children? You're your mom's child. But you're still not our property.
Yeah.
We were someone's property. That's crazy. That's how the black women were raped. Because you're our property. So you know what? You know what? You do whatever I say. If you're laid in there with your husband and your kids and I choose to want to have sex with you, I will make your husband sit on the porch while I go in and do what I want to my property. Just think about that for a second.
And it's nothing that they could do or they could
And then they did all of that and got them pregnant and like disowned the child. Like, what is...
Yes.
Like, they did stuff just to do it, just because they had the power
and
to
just
do
because they could.
They don't want that black child.
No.
They didn't.
They didn't want the black child. And the black... So then you look at it from that child's perspective. Because last week we touched on mixed children. So in those times, right, the white people don't want you. especially the white man's wife.
And
like,
the black people don't want you.
And the black
either
people
because
don't want
they're
you
looking at
either.
Like, you don't look like us. Have you guys ever seen the movie Queen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie. I didn't like the way her dad treated her.
Right,
didn't.
but that was a lot of.
And I know he tried his best, but like.
But did he? But did he?
No, he tried harder
really
for
didn't.
100%.
He really didn't.
He
like
could've.
the only difference between her and her white sister were just their mothers.
That's
like
it.
they're both your daughter,
yeah.
right? They're both your daughters. So I don't really view that as he tried. Again, we talked last week about like my great grandfather. He was disowned by his family. He was disowned, and
really
at that time, if you were, they didn't even just call you an N-lover. You were called the white version of an N-word was white trash.
Right.
Oh, really?
Yes, you were called white trash. And if you were white trash, so if you call a white person white trash, they view that as us calling them the N-word.
Okay.
Like it's that derogatory. So I guess that's a good segue to go into the other things that we're seeing across the world. In London yesterday, Edward Colson, he was a slave trader, and there was a statue of him. They threw it in the harbor.
Good.
And a lot of the statues are coming down. The Marines just announced that they have banned the Confederate flags, and you were saying that was also hanging.
Yeah,
in
I
GCIT.
had
what?
I want to
That's
say
crazy.
Until my junior year, I was I was the public relations officer for the African American Culture Club. We had board meeting after board meeting, like getting the flag banned because for Spirit Week they did an America Day, so everyone was supposed to wear like red, white, and blue or whatever. But we decided, I think at that time, that's when the whole like Colin Kaepernick thing was going on.
Yeah.
So we decided that we were just gonna wear all black for America Day.
Okay.
So like the racists got pissed at us and they put on Snapchat, okay guys, so they want to protest for Black Lives Matter. Tomorrow, everybody bring in your Confederate flags. So they had giant flags, shirts, belts, pants, everything.
What?
And administration saw absolutely like nothing wrong with it.
Of course.
And not only were they like wearing the flags, they were like taunting us down the hallway,
They
and they were like,
behind
you
kids.
know, you have no reason to protest for Black Lives Matter. If you don't like it, then just, I think this was his exact words. You don't have right to protest for Black Lives Matter. If you don't like the way you look, do a Michael Jackson and bleach your skin. That's what a kid said to us.
Oh my God.
And like we had like reports, and we literally administration did nothing. We went higher to the superintendent. We went higher to the entire school board.
Oh my!
And had a meeting with them. We had to call in the NAACP president.
That's crazy.
And after we called in the NAACP, we did a lawsuit. If you Google it, it's online. There's articles, there's news videos on CNN and everything, because we literally had to fight for them to get rid of the flag. And then after that, they got rid of our club.
So now, but listen to what she said, because you're like, oh, they needed to get their butts kicked. She just said, like, we made up 4% of the school. So that means 96% of the school is not black.
Yeah.
I saw a woman today online. She got slapped in a store, a Karen. She went at a Native American young woman in a store, tried to tell the store clerk, don't serve her. She needs to go back to where she came from. The Native American young girl said, this is where I come from. You don't come from here.
Right.
And she walked up to her and tried to grab her, and homegirl smacked her.
Good.
And I was like, yes. Yes, ma'am. She said, oh my gosh, she hit me. And the guy recording was like, well, you deserved it. You came in, acting crazy. They're emboldened. They're really emboldened. I'm telling you.
I'm just disgusted. I'm just at a loss for words. Like, honestly, to be truthful, all this stuff going on in the world is seriously affecting my mental health so bad because I just keep feeling like, not trying to get all religious. Like, I just keep feeling like God's coming back soon.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a lot of different stuff that I'm battling in my head. Like, it's just ridiculous. That's why I'm just staring, because I just don't even really have words.
Well, like, a lot of people that are, like, Christian don't know that we're the people in the Bible that he's talking about.
Right.
Who?
Black people.
Black people. I believe it.
Yeah.
If you read it.
You know what?
If you really read the Bible.
Only because how he says, like, they said Jesus' hair was of wool or something like that.
Feet of brass, hair of wool.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day.
And it was a scripture that said something. Sorry, but it was a scripture that said something about fight for those who cannot fight for themselves.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, but we have to fight for ourselves.
Yeah.
We have to fight for the people who can't fight for themselves.
Black people are a very strong people, right? Because all of the things that we've gone through in this country, and think about it. So we're sitting here because someone in our lineage fought through that.
Yeah.
Like they survived through that. And we're talking about back like from Africa. Like they fought through being brought over on a ship and being a slave. Like that means we have generations and generations of people that survived that, because had we not, we wouldn't be sitting here. The generation would have stopped. Mm-hmm. So I had a DM. I was telling you earlier, I had a DM because there were certain things that people put in the DM like, oh, I wish you guys would have touched on this. So one of the things that I got a DM about was they wish we would have talked about how in America we are almost force-fed to remember, to honor Holocaust survivors.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is a poignant thing in America where we are made to learn about it,
in history
what
class.
the suffering people went through, to honor those who have survived it. But slavery, we're not.
They tell you to get over it.
They tell you to get over it, act like it didn't exist. Here's the problem. And I mean no disrespect to any Jewish person. I don't. The Holocaust did not happen on U.S. soil. So how in the United States do we honor something that happened internationally more than we honor the survivors of people that suffered here?
Because they don't care.
Because we're black.
The most I've learned about Black history was, of course, my parents, my family, because they're Black. But going to Cherry Hill, and my friend Kiera actually reached out to me, and she said, I relate so much to that video, because she even agreed, like, they brainwash us. Mm-hmm. They don't teach us anything. Mm-hmm. And when I moved to Winslow, they had African-American Culture Club. Mm-hmm. And I just loved that class. In college, William Patterson University, I loved African American history at college. Yeah, remember I even hit my parents up like, I think I want to be an African American history teacher. Like, it's just ridiculous that we have to, in these predominantly white schools, we have to go to different outlets and different places to learn about our history, because they won't teach us.
I actually just seen today, like on the governor's page, that African American history is now a requirement
in New Jersey,
in New
right?
Jersey.
That's so amazing. I saw that too. I was so happy about that because it's
that's
the
very
protesting.
Good.
It's getting to people.
Because we tried to fight for that too. They wouldn't give it to us at our school.
That's
really?
Crazy.
And the
good thing about that is, African American history, really dope history.
It's so good. It's really amazing.
Yeah, right. They just want you to believe that slavery is it. That's where we begin and where we end.
It's slavery and Madam C.J. Walker.
That's it. That's it. Slavery, Madam C. and Martin Luther King. Like, even if you look at Black History Month, right? Mm-hmm. So I remember even when I was in school, you only learned about the same people. God bless them. Yes, did they play a pivotal role in Black history, Black culture? 100%. But there's so many more people.
Yeah, like you know who Madam C.J. Walker, Martin Luther King, and Malcolm X are in like second grade.
Yeah.
Right.
And you take history class every year after that.
And it's the same white history just being taught back to back every year.
It's the same people.
First of all, I don't even feel like you can encapsulate Black history into the shortest month of the year. Like, it's so
That's why
so
they gave
much
us the shortest month of the
it's
year.
so much that Black people have contributed to America, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
our culture is stolen by America every day.
100%. Oh, did you, speaking of that,
be us.
Not to cut you off, did you see what Justin Bieber wrote?
Yes.
Did you see that? Well,
He's
Justin Bieber,
really
do you want to say it? Justin Bieber wrote that well, wait, you two talk. I'm going to pull it up because I don't want to misquote him. Okay. No, because it was so good. It was so good.
I've been seeing Justin Bieber, like, people who have been coming at him in the comments. Mm-hmm. He's been defending Black people. Justin's been posting. From what I've seen, yeah. Because you better post.
I got to find it. It was so... Oh, here it goes. Okay, so he wrote, I am inspired by Black culture. I have benefited off of Black culture. My style, how I sing, dance, perform, and my fashion have all been influenced and inspired by Black culture. Mm-hmm. I am committed to using my platform from this day forward to learn to speak up about racial injustice and systematic oppression and to identify ways to be a part of a much needed change.
Yes.
I thought that was
beautiful.
dope.
It is.
I thought that was dope because if you look at all things music, it all comes from Black.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I'm the architect because he was in fact the architect of rock and roll. You have people like Chuck Berry. If you look at Elvis, right, who they like glorify,
Elvis,
the king.
You can look at Elvis and tell each and every Black person he stole from. Mm-hmm. Every last one of them. Like the duck walk that came from Chuck Berry. Chuck Berry did that, but Elvis did it, and they thought he created it. No offense, white people just are not that cool. No, they don't have that much rhythm. You have to study a Black person to get like that. That's why I thought that was super dope that Justin Bieber said that. Yeah. Because you could tell he was trying to be like Usher. You could tell when he came out, he was like,
loved Usher.
He loved Usher so much. Like, oh, okay. So that's who you can tell that's who he
looked up to,
inspired by.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But a lot of people do that and don't realize that it's like cultural appropriation, and it's really. I don't like a lot of people get mad when white people get braids and all that stuff, and like it doesn't bother me. Mm-hmm. But what pisses me off is like people like Kim Kardashian who will get cornrows, call them she called them boxer braids.
Boxer braids. And now, that's what's now all the white girls and call them boxer braids.
Now all of a sudden every white girl in America wants to get cornrows, and it's like Kim Kardashian didn't invent that.
Exactly.
But when Black women wear them,
it's ghetto.
When we look ghetto,
we're ghetto. We're ghetto. You're ghetto to wear that. I mean,
I'm sorry. I'm just going to point this out too. Spanish girls been wearing the braids too a lot. And it's no big deal. You know me.
Yeah, they have.
But it's like, y'all been wearing
even
the
down
braids
to the
too.
Box braids now.
Like, yeah, they get braids too.
Which is interesting because as a braider, I know that it's hard. All hair doesn't lock up easily. So shout out to whoever's braiding all these white people and Spanish people's hair because it's not
I don't really mind
feat.
Spanish girls getting braids though, because the Spanish girls that I've seen that get braids actually fight for Black people. That's why I don't care.
No, well, see, and I wanted to talk about that too because I had posted something on the Full Plate Podcast page where he was clearly of some sort of Hispanic descent. Mm-hmm. He yielded a chainsaw at people and was like, don't let these N-words fool you and this, that, and the third. And I'm looking at him like, dude, you're who they're building the wall for.
Yeah.
Like, are you crazy?
Yeah, delusional.
And then I had a conversation. Shout out to my niece, Destiny.
Oh, I love Des.
I love Des. She's like my heart. I love her. Destiny and my niece and my nephew, they are half Spanish and half Black. And when I'm talking with her, I feel so bad for her because she is in a battle of, yes, I am half Spanish, but I am also half Black. So when this is happening to my Black people, I'm looking for those that look like me to stand up for me. If you love me, you know what I mean? That's a battle in itself because that's got to be horrible. It's like on the one hand, you see some Spanish people that don't give a poop about what's happening. They vote for Trump. They're like on that end of that spectrum. Yeah. But then you have the other Spanish people that are in the streets, that are marching. They're like, no, this is not right. Black and brown need to stand together. Mm-hmm. And those are the ones that I appreciate because those are the ones that to me are looking out for my niece. Those are the ones that if you look like that half of her, stand up for her because that's a part of her too. Mm-hmm.
And it's like what you were saying last week about the whole thing with the Asians and stuff. It's like we're fighting for you guys with ICE and all of that, and then when it comes to Black people, no one has anything
Nobody
to say.
wants to stand up for
I don't get it.
But we'll stand up for everybody in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah, like a week later. Like, oh, yeah, you were rude to us last week, but next week we'll be kumbaya. No, Black people need to stop that. And I'm not trying to cause like a race war or anything, but stand with those that stand with you. Stand with those that stand with you. When we're talking about Asian Americans, they literally encompass all hoods around the world. Let's start with that. They have the Chinese food stores. They have the beauty supply stores where they actually, if you try to open, I don't know how they do this, But if you try to open up a beauty supply store in the radius of them, they somehow get you shut down. So they're like encroaching on the space, and then they're like dominating the space, so you can't even, the nail salons. Like, let's just discuss how much money Black people spend with Asian Americans, right?
A lot.
So the question I pose, how much money do they filter back into the community?
Probably none.
And I grew up in Camden City, and I don't remember my softball team, no basketball teams, anything happening at the high school or anything where the very stores that we were spending our money in filtered money back in, brought us uniforms, did anything, So I thought that was like a good point to make. And someone else, me and someone else were talking about that in the DM. Like, think about it. When we grew up, how much money we spent, how much stuff we brought, what money was filtered back to us? Zero. And if it was money, I would say it, because I'm that type of, this store did this. Nothing. Zero. I don't recall it ever happening.
And most of them are like Coco Beauty and Sunshine. Yeah. Like, both of them own that. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah. If what you were saying, if anything is that close to one another, they own it.
Yeah. But let us try to pop up like a Black hair store. Like, it's so few and far between that when it happens, it's like, yes, champion that, because who knows better about Black hair than Black people, right? So if we're spending these billions and billions of dollars, shouldn't we facilitate that back into our own communities? That's just what I think.
I feel like a lot of people capitalize off of us.
Sure.
Don't want to fight for us.
Sure.
It's sad. And it's
That's
not
why,
all Asians. It's not all white people.
No. We said that last episode. There are good, because I saw some videos of, like, there was a neighborhood and it was a Japanese American family where their white neighbor knocked on the door and was like, take that off your car, because they had like Black Lives Matter wrote on the car.
Oh, I saw that video.
And they went head up with him like, yeah, no, you're a racist. I'm not taking that off my car. So no, all people are not bad. I don't believe that. I don't. I will never support that premise that all white people are bad, all Asian people are bad, all Spanish. No. But if you're going to call out the bad apples, quote unquote, bad apples of Black people, we should be able to call out the bad apples of every other race, because Black people are not the only race with bad apples. Period. And right now, the apples floating around in the white realm are not looking too hot.
Yeah, and the same thing with how people try to like counter what we're doing with like, oh, what about Black on Black crime?
Oh my God, don't get me started on that. That's so annoying.
That's so annoying. The same. And actually, I forgot to say this earlier when we were talking about the officers. The one that actually killed George Floyd is only getting charged with 3rd degree,
which is crazy.
Which basically means that it was an accident, not on purpose.
What?
But yet
the
your
other
knee
ones are
was
getting
still in his neck.
2nd degree?
But it's like your knee was still in his neck after. And my thing is this. So like, if one of you was laying on me, you can feel me breathing, you can feel me viable, you can feel this. If for some reason I passed out or I am now lifeless or unconscious, there would be a shift in my body. Yeah. So to me, if he had his knee on his neck in that manner, you had to feel it.
But honestly, none of that even matters. It doesn't matter if it was an accident or not, because
happen.
He was in handcuffs. He agreed to get in the car with you guys, and somehow he's now dead when he didn't resist. So it doesn't matter if it was an accident, or he should have been in the car, not on the ground. That's the problem.
He already was in the car.
Because isn't that the purpose of the handcuffs? Like, we handcuff you so you can't hurt yourself or us.
If he's handcuffed,
you're beating him up inside of the car. He should have been in the car.
That's their favorite thing to yell. Yeah. When you clearly see on camera no one's resisting.
Stop resisting.
Stop resisting.
Well, that's for the body cam.
Like, shut up. Like, nobody's resisting.
Oh, that was something. I saw another video or something like that where a Black guy was just like, they were pulverizing him. And a white guy was recording it. And he's like, he's already handcuffed, leave him alone, whatever. And the cop is like, he's like, oh, he's resisting. Well, just because you say he's resisting doesn't mean he's resisting.
I saw that video. It's literally on camera. The guy's just standing there, and he's like, "Oh, he's resisting."
It's the excuse. It's the excuse. And what I've also noticed in America is when a Black man or Black woman, and I hate this, whenever they're unlawfully murdered. Well, murder is murder. So if they're unarmed, it's not it's just trash.
It's not
like
self-defense.
right. So what I've noticed the media does though is like they'll try to dig up some kind of dirt. Don't you hate that? Yeah. They'll like dig up dirt like,
oh, he did this.
Oh, he did this in his past. He went to jail before. Who cares?
I actually just seen a post like that this morning on Facebook, and it was this white lady going off about all this stuff, whatever was on George Floyd's record.
Oh my
God. So the lady that she was talking to found the person's record.
Okay. Oh.
That she's talking to. So she went on and looked this person up, and she's like, oh, well, let's see. You have this charge, that charge, and that charge. And she's like, oh, well, the past is the past.
Oh. Ooh. Right. Oh.
What about his?
How convenient.
Like, for you, the past is the past, but what about for him? Why does our record
have to stay with us?
And I totally,
and we can't get forgiven.
Like, my dad went through the same thing.
Okay.
Like, he had a record, and randomly he gets pulled over, no reason, no violation, stuff like that. I remember I want to say I was in like 3rd grade when I lived in Texas. My dad would pick us up from school every day, but he would walk to us, like, because we like to walk, and the house is down the street. And I remember this cop coming up to him, and we're walking over to him, and they were accusing him of robbing some bank.
What?
And he's like, and because he's walking to us, like, from the house, he doesn't have his ID on him or anything. Right. So they're like, yo, you fit the description. Like, so they're like, you have to come with us. And my dad's like, well, I didn't do anything. And me and my little brother are like standing there, and they're trying to tell us to identify him. So they're like, what's your dad's name? And we both tell him his name. We had to go into the school because my dad was like well known in the school. My parents are like very involved. Right. So he's going up to all of our teachers, having them identify him so that they would leave him alone when he did nothing.
He's just trying to pick up his kids.
Yeah.
That's
so now,
ridiculous.
when she says this story to me, right, the first thing my head goes to...
when Dad was...
No, because we'll discuss that, because that's where my head went there, too. How do you then, as a 3rd grader, process that?
Yeah. I was like, what? I knew what was happening, but I'm like, I don't understand. Like, my dad doesn't do anything like that. I'm like, he's not a bank robber. Like,
that's ridiculous. So, white kids don't have to go through
right,
that
and that's
all.
The difference.
They can just be kids.
So white kids are in America like, oh yes, the police are so great,
and black kids are out protesting.
Black kids, but there are white kids doing it too. And what I will also clap my hands for, because there were so many white kids that were putting their racist parents on blast.
Oh, yeah. I appreciate that. They were blasting their parents.
Just applaud them. Applaud them. They were putting them on blast.
Did you guys see the video with the one white girl that was going viral?
Yes.
I'm not being racist when I'm saying white girl either.
Okay.
But the one girl that was going viral where she was putting her dad on blast, where her dad was like, well, I work in the ghetto.
Yes.
And I've talked to black... You didn't see that one? I worked in the ghetto. All they want to do is be ghetto and destroy, and there's a difference between and black, like, all just going in. And then his daughter was trying to explain to him, like, no, Dad, they've been oppressed. Like, they haven't had the same opportunities as us. No, all they want to do is...
She read him. It's ridiculous. She read him. She read, and then it was so many white children that I was like so proud of, because it just proves the point that just because you're born, it was one, oh my God, this poor baby, she was crying. She was like, I hate it here. My family is racist. I'm literally like, I hate it here. I'm literally arguing with them, explaining to them why murder is wrong. And she was like in tears. And it was people in the comments like, sweetie, tell us your address. We'll come pick you up and we'll kick their ass. Like, listen, but that just goes to show you how black people are. Like, we'll even take you in because you get it. Mm-hmm. So you just come on and be with it. You're welcome to the cookout. So that was another word that was getting on my nerves that I thought we would discuss. Ghetto.
I'm so sorry.
Right?
I literally didn't get
ghetto. I am so sick and tired of hearing.
I don't even say that word.
Ghetto.
I used to say it a lot when I lived in Cherry Hill.
Thugs is the new N-word. Thugs is the new N-word, because I've noticed that instead of the N-word, they place the word thugs now. Mm-hmm. So instead of Donald Dump Truck.
I'm so sick of him saying these thugs.
Yeah, because he can't say the N-word.
Yeah,
so,
what he wants to say.
Before we get into this, I just would like to shout out the D.C. mayor,
Oh yeah.
Who the street leading up to Donald,
the White House.
Yes, is now Black Lives Matter Way. So let's just applaud her. God bless this beautiful black woman. You make a black woman mad, you get your feelings hurt.
The paint too.
No.
They changed the street name to Black Lives Matter Way, and then the entire road.
Oh yes, in yellow. Yes,
is in yellow.
I love it.
Black Lives Matter.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So from your window, Donald Dump Truck, you
to
now
see
see
that.
Black Lives Matter. You now see that.
Did you see his response on Twitter?
Oh yeah,
he was pissed.
He was super mad. Oh, he was
didn't
livid.
Get to see it.
Oh,
I
you had
try
to go.
not to look at his tweets because he disgusts me.
Oh, he was livid.
No,
But I thought that we would discuss the term ghetto, because ghetto is not a solely black thing. So, like, I don't know if people have ever been to like some trailer parks, or first of all, I don't know if anybody's ever watched a show that used to come on Lifetime called Gypsy.
Yeah,
My gypsy,
I used
my
to
big
watch
gypsy wedding. They were ghetto, and none of them were black. That was ghetto behavior.
Yeah, they were ratchet.
Oh my, ratchet. So it just shows and proves like we all have them.
Yeah.
Let's just start with that. We all have them. We all have them. There are white people on public assistance, just like there are black people. There are Hispanic people on public assistance, just like black people.
Can
Why?
I just say something really quick? Because when I used to work at Walmart a while ago, I saw more white people coming to my line with food stamps, WIC,
I believe it.
state assistance than I did black people.
Because I don't know why, but for them it's looked at
As
like,
okay.
Yeah, but for us it's like, oh, you're broke and you need help.
Yeah.
Pull up from the
Anyone
bootstraps.
can need help from any race.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah. I remember when, because we've owned the studio now, what is it, like 8 years?
Long time.
8 years, maybe going on 9 years, but originally we were in Lumberton. And because we lived in Sicklerville, it was easier to go to the studio through Medford. Medford is a well-known racist town.
Yeah.
Like, just well-known for
Oh my God.
Medford.
EJ, that's where I went to the dealership to get my car the first
Medford?
time. Profiled me.
What?
Didn't even send my information over to the bank. I was telling him how much money I make, like, from my business, and I just said a number, and he was like, a year, and I was like, no, a month, and he's like, he like looks at me and does this face. He's like, yeah, okay.
What?
Wow,
he
jealous.
never sent it over to the bank. Told me,
my
he
God.
was like, yeah, no, you can't afford this car, and I was like, okay, well, what if I do like a down payment? And he's like, you would have to do like 50% of the car down, like in cash right now in order to get it. And I was like, that doesn't like make any sense. Who puts 50% of the car down?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm not doing that. And so he's like, yeah, you might be better off going to like a buy here, pay here kind of place. And so my mom was like, let's just leave.
Oh,
yeah.
see?
That's
See?
the same city. I had no idea that they had like a reputation.
Oh, oh, yes.
Because I'm not from here.
Oh,
So
you're right. You're not from here.
Oh, yeah, Sim.
Let me tell you.
You're not from here. Aren't you from down south?
Yeah.
Yeah,
When did
see?
you move to New Jersey?
6th grade.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
See,
so you
want
wouldn't
to
know.
go back down south? Because I'm ready to move down there. I don't want to live up in
Well,
here.
that's
I'm
where it's really
serious.
predominantly racist. Like, I don't know if you really want to go down south. But what I was saying is, so, you know, Pud drives a BMW, right? So in racist white people's mind, he shouldn't have a car like that, right? So he would get pulled over. He would get pulled over every day. He would call me. He would call me and say, "Babe, they got me again." It got to the point where I was like, "Listen,
It was so many tickets.
it
coming
was
to our house
ridiculous."
For no reason.
And this
I'm
one
like,
time,
yeah,
one time, we're riding from the studio, and we get pulled over, and the guy, so like Pud puts the window down, and he goes, "So where are you coming from?" Didn't ask for license, registration, anything. So I'm literally pinching the hell out of Daddy. Like,
Because he has a smart
he has a
mouth. Yeah.
really smart mouth and short temper with cops, especially at this point, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm pinching him, like, for the love of God, don't say anything, because we see what type vibe
He's
the
already
cops
giving,
on.
yeah.
Well, where are you guys coming from? So I pinch him, and I inch forward, and I said, we're coming from our business in Lindenwold. We're business owners.
Right.
What, can I help you? He's like, oh, well, we've had a few. I said, listen, before you even go there, don't tell me you've had a few murders, robberies. Don't tell me nothing, because this is unacceptable.
Yeah. Not like all black people look the same or something.
Right.
Exactly.
And of course,
or
and we're
only
riding
all
through
black
Medford.
people are capable of robbing.
Right. So of course,
when I worked at the malls and white girls stole more than black girls.
I believe it.
I didn't even see a black girl come into my store ever and steal. It always was white girls.
Well,
and then like what I was saying earlier, like when they accused my dad of robbing, we went home and there was no news. There was no.
It never is.
There was nothing about any bank around us being robbed. Is. So it's like, well,
he just wanted to racially profile your
dad.
That's all it was. Trouble.
That's all it was. I remember we lived in Gibbsboro and a little white girl spit on her.
Oh my God! And called me Blackie. I will never forget that. And I was in first grade.
Yeah,
first grade.
I don't think I threw EJ and the twins. Sophia. So I would say her last name, but I don't want to. Don't say her last name. But and her mom. Well, I won't say her mom's name because then people will know who we're talking about, just in case they still live there. No, it's fine.
I don't care.
But I don't think I threw EJ and the twins in the wagon so fast. Were you too young? Do you remember that? You remember that. And when I tell you the rage that came over me, because you know how kids
was racist too.
Super racist. You know how kids do stupid things?
Yeah.
So you try to go to the parent because maybe the parent might chastise the child and say, oh, no, we don't do that. Oh, no. This mom was like, okay, she did it, and sis, listen.
Because that's like the highest, like, it's not like calling you the name was like bad enough, but like spitting on someone.
Who even is teaching you that?
Right.
Yeah.
Like you're in first grade. Who taught their first grade daughter to say
that and spit on someone?
They're lucky. They're lucky I was in first grade because that's somebody.
No, they're lucky. They're lucky that at that point I had children because my first reaction was to literally go across the street and annihilate her. But then the other thought was, okay, you're a black woman, so they're going to come arrest you.
Yeah.
Then your husband's at work, so then where are they going to take the kids? I had to think about them first. And the Sabrina and Kyla, they're like crawling at that point. Like they're really little.
Really small.
They're really little. So I thought about them first. That's why I swear to you, when I went in the house and I called my mom was like, thank God you have kids. Because if I didn't have kids, this would have been a whole nother scenario.
My mom says that all the time.
Whole nother scenario. Because you think about the kids first.
Yeah.
You literally do.
As parents.
Yeah. It's just really sad that you as black young people, your situations and your experiences are so much different than white children your same age, your counterparts, and it literally is a taught behavior. Right? So even with everything that you as black children go through, I know as a black mother, we don't teach our children to hate other people, right? But it easily could be done. We could easily be like, listen, hate them because they're white and they hate you, and hate them because we don't do that. So even when you guys are like bashed and treated like trash, we still don't we try to teach y'all to love everybody. And what's crazy is these Christians, these racist, how are you a racist Christian?
It's like, what?
How are you a racist? Racist? I'm a Christian, but I'm racist. It goes back to slave owners.
Like, and that's literally like in the Bible, like if you like read the story of Moses and all that, like God sent Moses like to free the slaves. Literally, like there's not supposed to be anybody owning anybody, any type of like slavery. So to be a Christian and to know that story and still be racist, like what do you?
I can't. Oh no, the funniest, not funny. I won't say it's funny, but did you see Donald Dump Truck take a picture in front of the church?
Yeah,
with the Bible, the owner, and it was upside down.
Did you see like the owner of that church?
Yeah,
though was not happy.
Not happy.
Really? He did not have permission to do that.
And he tear gassed. No. He tear gassed
everyone around
peaceful
the church.
Protester so he can go take that photo op in front of the church.
Just posing.
Just posing with his upside down Bible.
He is not a Christian man.
No, he's not. But see, what he's doing is he incites the foolishness.
You're a Christian man, but you're molesting little girls. You're a
Well,
Christian man.
talk about it.
Don't get me started on Donald Trump.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Please don't get me started on Donald Trump, because you guys know I can go all day.
Yeah, he's just really he's like a sad individual. It's like it's almost like I said in the Q&A where the question was, how did I feel about Donald Trump? And I only view him as like a troubled child. I don't see him past like adolescence, right? So when you look at him and you're watching how he's maneuvering being the president, it's like a child. Like, oh wait,
media.
You mean because I'm the president, I get to play with the army? I get to play with the National Guard and their tanks? Hey, let's set it up. Like they're action figures. But these are real people. I can throw tear gas at people. Let's see what this does. Yeah. You idiot. Then he went down in the bunker and cut the lights off in the White House. Like Obama was threatened every day, called a monkey, never went in the bunker. You're in the bunker because of protesters?
Because he's scared.
He should.
And that's like
people.
the thing that's like,
racist.
I don't know, it's like awakening because like it's a clear sign. It's a sign that what we're doing is actually like doing something because all we're doing is protesting and speaking
coming
up.
together. Yeah.
And he's hiding. Like no one's doing anything like
that violent.
Yeah.
No, not at all. And the violence is coming from the police.
Yeah,
that's where the violence is
coming
from
the police. People aren't even touching police, and they're just walking down, pushing people down, hurting people. Why are people calling me like they don't know I'm filming?
Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, like the violence is coming from the police.
100%.
The violence is being incited.
One video I saw where
oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, Sabrina.
It was one video I saw where a guy was protesting. He was wearing a mask, and the police officer walked up to him,
took his mask and sprayed him
in the face.
So, I guess it's safe to say that the protests are warranted, seeing how we're protesting over police brutality and violence.
Speaking of protesting, guys, because I know that there's going to be more protests that are going to come up and stuff like that. This movement is not over. Please don't let it die.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people that are, talking about it less and less and less. But, stuff is still going on in the real world. Social media isn't everything. But still, don't let the movement die. But anyways, when you are at the protest, be wary of the cops that are kneeling down, because there's some cops that are kneeling down and acting like they're standing with you.
For the pictures.
Just to fight you.
Oh.
Did you see that? Yeah, to lure you in to hit you and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Wow.
Please be careful. It's ridiculous.
And some of them will kneel long enough for the news to take the picture,
and then
they'll
get up and
stand
do
up and
crazy
tear
stuff.
gas you.
Yeah, because there were some cops that were like taking pictures of like blood on the ground with their baton. Like they're proud of it. The police department, the police departments are the biggest gang in America. Period.
It's a bunch
they
of
protect
cowards
each other.
behind
A
badges.
bunch of cowards.
They're all cowards.
All
If they weren't
kids that got
cowards,
picked
they would
on
have
at
to
school.
Kill black people because you're scared of races that aren't of. That's not your race.
Yeah. Well, so we'll end it here.
Yeah.
Do we feel like we have gotten things off of our chest? And
this is just a continuation because
of
I'm pretty sure there's going to be more stuff going on
Unfortunately.
even after today. So there's going to be more stuff to talk about.
Since even last week, I think it was like a couple people that have also been shot and killed by police. So it's not over. I am literally mentally exhausted of this. I'm tired of seeing it. I actually think I'm probably going to take like a break from social media for a couple days. Just to gather my mental health.
Kind of in a bad spot because, me, I do music. I don't even feel comfortable posting photo shoots, posting
I haven't
music,
posted
any
wigs.
Yeah, it's like business owners are suffering because nobody wants to post their content.
Even like doing it, like earlier this week, I was telling EJ like I have orders to do and I literally just can't focus.
Yeah, because it's affecting everyone.
It's mentally draining. It's mental, and you guys are valid in feeling how you're feeling because it is in fact mentally draining. I know Pud put out a freedom challenge. I saw # freedom challenge by Basic Beats.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a cool way of like letting artists be able to because a lot of people feel like you as far as music is concerned where they don't really feel comfortable.
I don't feel comfortable.
And it's bad when black women don't want to look good. Like when black women don't want to look good.
And they're like, all right, we need a break. That's how you know.
So with that being said, I'm just going to end the show on a positive note as we always do. And I thought the best positive note to end it on is to actually say, thank you to you guys' generation. I just really want to give you guys kudos because
we're going hard.
You are. Your generation, their generation is really going hard. That's why I thought they would be the perfect guest to do the follow-up. Just on social media, using you guys' platforms, your ways of communicating, putting together protests,
rallies,
putting together peaceful protests and things like that. I just want to commend you guys. I want to tell you all to keep going, keep moving. Don't let stuff deter you.
Yeah.
Like, keep going in the manner in which you are. And just like I was just telling Sim when you were just washing your hands, this generation is not the generation of the past. Y'all will EJ bleep that out. But y'all will. Like, these kids are over it. They don't want to hear like we shall overcome. Yeah, they're not your they're not their grandparents.
Telling someone like we have like our own rage, but we have like the rage of our ancestors.
Yes.
Right.
So it's like we're angrier than everyone else ever was.
You know what? Because go ahead, you finish.
No, you're good.
No, you go first, because it's about what you're saying.
We're angrier than because we have like
built up.
Yeah, because we've been enslaved since the 1500s. They
Yes.
say, but that was America.
That was America.
16.
Yes.
So technically, we're going on the 500s.
500 years. Yep.
So we have like 500 years of rage.
Yeah.
Built up.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, not trying to say that like, this is kind of like a weird statement to say, but I always think outside of the box. I don't know, my mind is weird. But just how angry Black people are, like, what if it's those ancestors kind of speaking through us?
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, what if they're kind of like
you all come from somewhere? Yeah. We talked about that a little earlier, where someone had to survive
to speak up. So what if
someone had to survive that?
Yeah.
For you all to be sitting here and doing what you're doing. So if for nothing else, keep moving because of that.
Yeah.
You white children that are speaking against what you were taught, keep doing that.
Keep doing it.
Keep doing that. It's all good. It's all love. Nothing but positivity can come from this. A revolution. Yes, vote them out. Vote, because that's another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. You are stepping into an age range now where this election, you guys can make a difference. If you're of age that you can go vote, if you can go loot, rob stores,
you can get your behind up to
vote. It makes a difference, whether you believe it or not. It makes a difference. So we're going to end it here. I thank you, ladies, for joining me. It was very fun.
Yes.
Another thing in my DMs was like, when am I having Sabrina and Kyla on? So maybe we'll do. Listen, I don't know if the world is ready for that. They are. I don't know, but maybe next week we'll pick it up with like another topic just to brighten the mood. Because I know that this stuff can get kind of sad.
Yeah.
As Karen, I want to let you know that I am going to post his picture on the Full Plate Podcast. And if anyone knows this gentleman who disrespected my friend Karen, and she's not one of those Karens, she one of these Karens. If anybody knows who disrespected her at the Cherry Hill Home Depot, please put the information under the Full Plate Podcast picture that I post up on Instagram. Okay?
I'm gonna put it on the Facebook group.
Put it on the Facebook group as well. Yes. So everyone have a blessed week.
Yes, have a great week.
Great week. Be strong. Keep moving. Keep the movement going. Movement keeps things going.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Don't be stagnant.
Not at all. Okay, so we'll sign off here. Bye.